I didn't pretend to be poor because I was ashamed of my money. I pretended because I wanted to see the truth. Daniel met me on a rainy evening in a bookstore cafe. No suits, no luxury cars, just two strangers talking about books and bad coffee. For 6 months, we lived simple. Walks, street food, late night talks about dreams. He fell in love with the version of me that wore plain clothes and carried no labels. And I loved him for that. When he finally said, "My family wants to meet you," I asked one question: do they know anything about me? He shook his head. They don't care, they just want to see the girl I love. I smiled. That was the moment I decided. I would go as no one. His family lived in a gated neighborhood where silence itself felt expensive. The gate opened slowly, like it was judging me. I stepped out of Daniel's car, wearing a simple dress and flat shoes. No watch, no bag worth mentioning. The house was huge, cold, perfect. His mother stood at the entrance. Tall, elegant, sharp eyes. She looked at me the way people look at something they didn't order. "So you're the girl," she said. "Not welcome, not nice to meet you. Just the girl." "Yes, ma'am," I replied softly. Her eyes dropped to my shoes, then back to my face. "Come in." Inside, everything shined, except the atmosphere. Daniel's father nodded once, like approving a document he hadn't read. His sister didn't even try to hide her smirk. Dinner was quiet, too quiet, until his mother asked, "Where are you from?" "A small town," I answered. Her eyebrow lifted. "Oh, that explains your accent." Daniel cleared his throat. "Mom." She waved him off. "And what do you do?" "I work remotely," I said. "Consulting." "Consulting," she repeated slowly. "For whom?" "Different companies." She smiled. A dangerous smile. That usually means unstable income. The sister laughed. The father sipped his drink. I nodded. "I manage." After dinner, his mother offered to show me the guest room. As we walked upstairs, she stopped suddenly. "You know," she said, "our family values standards." I waited. "Love is important," she continued, "but marriage is about compatibility." I understood what she meant. She didn't think I fit. "I agree," I said calmly. She looked surprised. That night, I heard them talking downstairs. "She's polite," the sister said, "but imagine her at our events." Daniel's mother sighed. "He deserves better." I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Not angry, not hurt, just aware. This was exactly what I wanted to see. The next morning, his mother handed me a list. "I need help today," she said. "House staff is short." I looked at the paper. Cleaning, sorting, errands. Daniel frowned. "Mom, she's a guest." She smiled sweetly. "It's good for her to learn responsibility." I took the list. "Of course," I said. Her smile widened. She thought she was testing me. She had no idea. I was testing them too, that afternoon, while sorting old files in the study. A sealed envelope slipped from a drawer. It had my company's logo on it, and Daniel's mother's name printed below. I stared at the envelope for a long second. Same logo, same shade of blue, same design I personally approved 3 years ago. My company didn't work with small clients, and definitely not with people who thought they were above everyone else. Before I could open it, footsteps echoed behind me. I slid the envelope back exactly where it had fallen. Daniel's mother appeared at the door. "You're done already?" she asked, surprised. "Yes," I said softly. She nodded, disappointed. That should have been my first warning. Breakfast the next morning felt like a performance. Daniel sat beside me, unaware. His father read the newspaper like I wasn't there. His sister scrolled her phone, occasionally glancing at me with amusement. His mother placed a cup in front of me. Instant coffee. Everyone else had fresh brew. "Hope this is okay," she said. "Not everyone is used to premium things." "I'm grateful," I replied. Daniel looked confused. "Mom, why didn't you?" She cut him off. "Let's talk about the engagement." The word landed heavy. "We were thinking next month," she continued. "Simple ceremony, close family only." She looked straight at me. "We don't want anything extravagant." Her eyes said what her mouth didn't. "You wouldn't fit extravagance anyway." Daniel smiled nervously. "That sounds fine, right?" I nodded. Inside, I smiled too. Later that day, his sister cornered me in the hallway. "So," she said casually, "what's your plan after marriage?" I paused. "My plan?" "Yes," she smirked. "You'll probably stop working, right? Focus on the house." "I enjoy working," I said. She laughed. "Enjoyment is a luxury." She leaned closer. "Just don't expect too much from our family." I met her eyes. "I don't." That confused her. People don't know what to do when you don't beg. In the afternoon, Daniel left for work. That's when his mother struck. She called me into the living room, sat me down, folded her hands. "I'll be honest," she said. I waited. "Our family has a reputation, certain expectations." I nodded politely. "You come from a modest background," she continued. "There's nothing wrong with that. But marriage into our family requires adjustment." Adjustment, such a polite word for submission. She slid a document across the table. A list, dress guidelines, social behavior rules, events attendance, people I should avoid. I scanned it quietly. "You'll need guidance," she said. "I can help you become presentable." I looked up. "Thank you," I said. Her eyes lit up. She thought I was agreeing. What she didn't know was that I had chaired meetings with people 10 times her wealth. That evening, while organizing the study again, I noticed something else. A framed photograph. Daniel's mother, standing beside a man I recognized instantly. One of my company's regional partners. I picked up the frame. The realization settled slowly. They didn't just know my company. They depended on it. At dinner, Daniel announced something unexpected. I told my parents we might move out after marriage. Silence. His mother froze. "Move out," she repeated. "Yes," he said. "We want our own space." Her eyes snapped to me. "Is that what you want?" I met her gaze. "I think it's healthy." Her smile vanished. Later that night, she knocked on my door. No warmth, no politeness. "You are changing my son," she said flatly. "I'm not," I replied calmly. "He's choosing." Her voice dropped. "You should remember where you stand." I almost laughed. The next day, she invited guests. Women from her social circle. Expensive perfumes. Judging eyes. She introduced me without my name. "This is Daniel's friend." One woman asked, "So what do your parents do?" Another added, "She looks sweet, very simple." They smiled. I smiled back. Then one of them mentioned my company. Casually, "Did you hear? That firm just bought another international branch." My heart didn't race. It slowed. Daniel's mother stiffened. I watched her connect the dots. Almost. That night my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "Good evening," a familiar voice said. "This is your company's legal department." I closed my eyes. "The Daniel family has requested a contract revision." I smiled. They have no idea who they're dealing with. Do they? The next morning felt heavier than the night before. Daniel noticed it first. "You're quiet," he said while driving me to the city. "Everything okay?" I looked out the window. "Your mother doesn't like me." He sighed. "She's traditional, give her time. Time doesn't fix disrespect. It only makes people braver." By afternoon, the engagement plans had changed. Daniel's mother called us into the living room again. Same seat, same posture, but a different tone. "We've decided," she said. "The engagement will be at our club." Daniel looked surprised. "I thought we agreed on something simple." She smiled tightly. "This is simple for us." Then she turned to me. "Of course, cost will be sensitive." I understood immediately. They wanted control, not celebration. "I can contribute," I said calmly. Her laugh was short. "Forced." "Oh no," she replied. "That won't be necessary." What she meant was, "You can't." Later that day, she invited me to shop with her. Not to buy, to observe. She moved through designer stores effortlessly, pointing at dresses. "This would suit someone elegant," she said, glancing at me. "Not everyone can carry it." At the cashier, she paid without looking back, then handed me the bags. "Hold these." I did. People mistake silence for weakness. They always regret it later. That evening, Daniel's sister finally dropped the act. "You know this won't last, right?" she said while scrolling her phone. I looked at her. "What won't?" "This," she gestured between me and Daniel. "Mom won't allow it." I smiled softly. "Then she'll have to live with disappointment." She laughed. "You're brave or stupid." "Or neither," I said. That shut her up. At dinner, the attack came openly. Daniel's father cleared his throat. "We did some research," he said. Daniel looked up. "Research?" "Yes," his mother added. "Background checks are important." She slid a thin file toward Daniel. My name on the cover. Wrong spelling. Inside were assumptions. Half-truths. Old addresses. Nothing impressive. "Her work seems inconsistent," his father said. "No stable employer." Daniel frowned. "She's a consultant, that's normal." His mother leaned forward. "A woman with no fixed place rarely fits into a strong family." I met Daniel's eyes. He hesitated. That hurt more than the insult. That night, he came to my room. "I'm sorry," he said. "They crossed a line." I nodded. "But you didn't stop them." Silence. "They're my parents," he finally said. "And I'm your future," I replied. He looked torn. "People think love is enough. It isn't. Not when courage is missing." The next day, things escalated. His mother announced a dinner. "Only family," she said. Then looked at me. "And you." The message was clear. "We decide if you belong." At the table, one of the guests asked loudly, "So how much does she earn?" The room went quiet. Daniel's mother didn't stop it. She watched. Testing. I set my glass down slowly. "Enough," I said. "For what?" "For dignity." Her smile froze. After dinner, Daniel confronted his mother. "I won't allow this anymore," he said. Her voice sharpened. "Then choose." The word echoed. Her or us. Daniel turned to me. In that moment, I saw it. The fear. The hesitation. He didn't answer. That night I packed quietly. No tears. No drama. Just clarity. At the door, Daniel whispered, "Please don't do this." I looked at him. "When you're ready to stand beside me," I said, "you'll know where to find me." I left. Outside, my driver was waiting. Black car. Tinted windows. The kind Daniel's family never noticed, because they were too busy judging shoes. I stepped in. "Home," I said. As the car pulled away, my phone buzzed. Message from my legal team. "Contract review complete. They're violating clauses they didn't read." I smiled for the first time in days. They thought they pushed me out. They had no idea. They just invited me back. I arrived at my apartment just as the sunset painted the skyline gold. Finally, I could breathe. But freedom doesn't last long when someone thinks they can control you. Next morning, I opened my laptop. The envelope from their study had been burning a question in my mind. I checked my accounts. Every investment, every client, all untouched, all secure. I smiled. They had underestimated me. Meanwhile, Daniel was pacing in his living room. His mother's voice on speakerphone screamed in a way that only the entitled can. "You sent her away," she demanded. "She cannot just walk out." Daniel ran his hands through his hair. "I didn't send her away, Mom. She left because you crossed the line." There was silence. Then a click. She had hung up. I decided it was time for the first move. I called my assistant. "Prepare the documents from the last merger. Make it flashy. We'll send a little gift to the Daniel family." By the afternoon, the gift arrived at their doorstep. A corporate portfolio with my name on top, $50 million worth of deals. The delivery boy smiled at the security guard. "The lady sends her regards." Inside the house, chaos erupted. Daniel's mother was pacing. The father dropped the envelope. The sister's jaw literally dropped. "Who sent this?" they demanded. Daniel swallowed. "They did." "Yes, I did." That evening, I walked into a local cafe, thinking of Daniel. I knew he was conflicted. He wanted to defend me, but his family's influence weighed him down. He saw me from across the street. His eyes widened. "Why?" I smirked. "Because they needed a reminder." The next day, I got a call from Daniel's mother herself. Her tone was controlled, but thinly veiled panic. "You need to meet us." I agreed on one condition. I chose the place. A neutral location. No opulence. No intimidation. Just me. And the truth waiting on the table. When we arrived, her eyes scanned me from head to toe. Gone were the polite condescensions. Now there was calculation. She opened her mouth to speak. I held up a hand. "Let me show you what you underestimated." From my briefcase, I took out the signed contracts, the audited documents, and a carefully prepared presentation. "The investments you ignored," I said calmly. "All mine. The revenue you mocked. Completely secured. And growing." She froze. Her perfect smile cracked slightly. Then the father spoke. "We didn't realize." "You didn't," I corrected. "Because you never bothered to check. You judged based on appearance." The sister whispered something to her mother. Her tone was defensive. Embarrassment lingered in the air. I finished. "Respect isn't given. It's earned. And judging someone based on shallow assumptions is costly." Daniel finally stepped forward. "You did all this." I looked at him. I never lied about who I am. I just waited for the truth to matter. He smiled, finally understanding. And at that moment, I realized. The game had shifted. They had power before. Now I held the upper hand. Later that night, a message arrived from an unknown number. "This isn't over. You'll regret this." I laughed quietly. "Bring it on." The morning after my little reminder, the Daniel household was already in chaos. Whispers in the hallways, side glances, the kind of tension only arrogance can create when it meets reality. I watched it all unfold from my office window, a cup of coffee in hand. The news. They had already called several of my associates, trying to verify what I'd shown them. Little did they know. I had expected that. Every call, every question, every skeptical glance. All part of the plan. By noon, Daniel called me. "They're planning a dinner," he said. "And they want you there, publicly." I raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "To test you, I think," he admitted. "Or humiliate you further." I laughed softly. "Then I'll make it educational." That evening, I arrived at the Daniel mansion. Not as the poor girl. Not as the one who had been humiliated. No, I walked in with confidence, a sharp outfit, subtle power in every step. The moment I entered, every eye turned. Daniel's mother froze. The sister gasped. The father looked uncertain. And Daniel, he smiled, relief and pride in his eyes. Dinner began. The table was full of society friends. Perfumes, whispered comments, and judging eyes were everywhere. One of the mothers whispered to another. "She must be from somewhere humble, right?" I smiled faintly. "Yes," I said, "but humble doesn't mean powerless." The table went silent. His mother tried the old tactics. "So, what exactly do you do?" "You manage several companies overseas," I said casually. "Revenue in the tens of millions." She blinked, her perfect calm cracking. Then came the sister's comment. "Oh, you probably just inherited everything." I leaned slightly forward. "No, I earned it." A ripple went through the room. The subtle smirks disappeared. I watched the faces change, pride, envy, shock, disbelief. Daniel's father tried to intervene. I cut him off gently. "Please, let's not rewrite history." I was underestimated, judged by appearances, and corrected quietly. Eyes turned to Daniel's mother. She clenched her napkin. The rest of the evening, I remained calm, polite, in control, but the whispers were inevitable. "He's dating someone so wealthy." She handled them beautifully. "She must be dangerous." Exactly. After dinner, Daniel and I stepped aside. "They'll never forget tonight," he said. "I can't believe how strong you are." I looked at him. Strength isn't just money. It's knowing your worth, and never letting others decide it for you. Later, in the privacy of my apartment, I received another message. "This isn't over. You've humiliated us. Next time, it will cost you." I smiled. I've been underestimated for too long. Let them try. I'm ready. Family had just realized the game had changed, and they were about to make the first desperate move. The next morning, Daniel's mother was already in overdrive. Calls, meetings, private messages. Every move meant to destabilize me, to remind me I don't belong here. I watched it unfold from my office. Every action she took, I predicted. Every lie she spread, I countered quietly. Because when you play a game of control, strategy beats force every time. By noon, she had invited her friends and several influential contacts to the club. "Just to show her who she's dealing with," she said to Daniel. He looked uneasy. "She doesn't realize how far you've come," I said, smiling. "She'll learn soon enough." That evening, I arrived at the club. Not shy, not pretending. I walked in like I owned half the city, because, in a way, I did. Whispers followed me. "Is she the same girl? She's glowing. She must have connections." Exactly the reaction I wanted. Daniel's mother approached me with a thin smile. "You look impressive," she said. A compliment, barely threat, definitely. "Thank you," I said, calm as ever. I came prepared. From my bag, I handed over a portfolio of my latest deals, carefully selected projects that touched her friends' industries. Her smile faltered. Her friends whispered. The shock was immediate. Then came the subtle twist. One of her friends tried to discredit me. "Oh, she must have help from someone else." I looked at her with a calm intensity. "Help, I build empires with my own hands." You'll find that even the smallest, underestimated opponent can shake the strongest foundations. The room went quiet. Her eyes flicked toward Daniel's mother. Not a word was spoken, but the message was clear. She's not to be toyed with. Later that night, I walked out to the valet. Daniel caught up with me. "They're planning more attacks," he said. "On social media, their friends, even your contacts." I smiled. "Let them. I don't play by their rules. I play by results." And as I stepped into the car, my phone buzzed. A photo of Daniel's mother with a contact from the city council, planning something public. I laughed softly. "Perfect. It's game time." Daniel's mother just tried to escalate publicly. And I'm ready for the spotlight. Her first real exposure is coming. The next week, the Daniel family decided to take their fight into the public. Invitations went out. High-profile friends. Social media whispers. Their goal, embarrass me, show me as an outsider. I walked into the venue hours before anyone else. No fear. No hesitation. Every step confident. Every eye would notice. The first whispers started immediately. Who is she? She looks different. Did she really make all this money? Exactly what I wanted. I smiled politely, handing over a folder to one of the city council contacts who had been briefed to show support for the family's event. Inside the folder, carefully prepared evidence of my financial independence, business deals, and community projects. As soon as the council member glanced at it, their face changed. The whispers shifted. Then Daniel's mother tried to corner me. So, you actually made all of this yourself? Her voice was sharp, controlled, but the fear behind it was visible. Yes, I replied calmly. And I assume you taught your friends that appearances aren't everything. Her jaw tightened. Her friends glanced nervously at each other. The room's energy had shifted, from power over me to uneasy curiosity. During the main gathering, she attempted a subtle insult in front of a few journalists. She's quite ambitious for someone so young, she said, tone laced with mockery. I smiled faintly, leaning closer. Yes, and I'm ambitious enough to know that true respect is earned, not granted by lineage or arrogance. The silence that followed was deafening. Cameras caught every word. Guests exchanged awkward glances. By the end of the evening, the Daniel family realized something terrifying. Their own friends and connections now questioned them. The whispers weren't in my disfavor anymore. Every subtle insult they had planned backfired. Daniel's mother's perfectly poised demeanor cracked slightly. Her hand trembled as she tried to manage the PR damage. The father muttered something under his breath, clearly annoyed. Even the sister avoided eye contact with me, her confidence shaken. After the event, Daniel pulled me aside. They didn't expect you to handle it like this, he said. I didn't expect them to go public either, I replied. But it was predictable. People like that always underestimate the quiet ones. I smiled. And now they know. I'm not an outsider. I'm a force they cannot ignore. That night, as I left the venue, my phone buzzed. A single text from an unknown number. You've humiliated us enough. Next time it will cost you more. I laughed quietly. Bring it on, I whispered. The Daniel family's first public attempt at humiliation failed miserably. And now they're planning their most desperate move yet. It started with a call late at night. Daniel's mother. Her voice controlled, sharp, almost venomous. You've gone too far, she said. You think you can humiliate my family and walk away. I smiled softly. Humiliate? I just revealed the truth. You humiliated yourselves. Her laugh was short, bitter. Truth. Don't make me remind you. Appearances can be manipulated. I tilted my head. Exactly. And that's why I never judged you by yours. The next morning, messages began circulating. Anonymous, but clearly orchestrated. Rumors about me, about my background, about my motives. The kind of whispers designed to poison reputation. I expected it. I had already prepared the counter. By afternoon, Daniel noticed the subtle attacks online. Mom's friends are trying to create stories. False stories, he said, worried. I'll handle it, I replied. No, he said, let me help. I shook my head. No, this is part of the game. Watch carefully. That evening, I attended a business gala. One Daniel's mother's circle also frequented. They were there, whispering, glaring. I walked in confident, radiant, every step deliberate. Before anyone could approach me, I subtly distributed verified documents, charity work, and business successes to key people in the room. The reactions were instantaneous. Gasps, murmurs, heads turning. The whispers against me died midair. Every attack she had orchestrated had backfired publicly. Later, Daniel's mother confronted me in private. This ends tonight, she said. You've embarrassed my family repeatedly. I laughed softly. I don't need to embarrass you. You've done that yourself. Her face twisted in anger. I'll make sure everyone knows who you really are. They'll see you as manipulative, opportunistic. I leaned close, calm but fierce. Manipulative. I simply showed the truth, that judging someone by wealth, clothes, or shoes can cost you everything. Her eyes widened slightly. For the first time, she realized her influence had limits. The real twist came when Daniel's father accidentally leaked a confidential family document to me. It showed mismanaged accounts, hidden debts, vulnerable business connections. Suddenly, the power balance shifted completely. I had the leverage. They didn't know I had it yet. That night, Daniel whispered, "You've turned the tables completely." "Yes," I replied. "And now, we decide the next move." They're exposed. Daniel family's secrets were now in my hands, and they had no idea what was coming next. The following morning, I called Daniel. "Are you ready?" I asked. He hesitated. "I think yes." Good timing mattered. By noon, I arrived at the Daniel mansion, not to beg, not to plead. I walked in confident, composed, unstoppable. Every family member froze. The mother's lips tightened. The sister's gaze avoided mine. Even the father looked nervous, because they didn't know what I held. I placed a thick folder on the dining table. Documents, proofs, everything showing. Mismanaged assets, lies they had spread about me, public and private errors, my own legitimate business empire. "Open it," I said calmly. They did. Silence. Shock. A few mutters of disbelief. His mother finally spoke. This can't be true." "Oh, it is," I replied. "And it all proves one thing. Your assumptions about me were wrong. And your attempts to humiliate me backfired." Her face paled. You can't, this is unfair." I smiled faintly. "Unfair? No. Truth is never unfair. Judgment based on arrogance is." The sister tried to intervene. You're only here to hurt us." "No," I said softly. "I'm here to correct the story. You humiliated me." I simply corrected it. The father leaned back, realizing the scale of the situation. Daniel's mother's hands trembled slightly. Daniel stepped forward. You were right all along," he admitted. "You've shown me what real strength is." I looked at him. "And you." "I'm proud," he whispered. "And I know now who truly deserves respect." The mother finally bowed her head. "I misjudged you," she said, every word heavy with realization. "And I apologize." I nodded, polite, not triumphant, but the victory was clear. By the end of the day, family humbled, secrets corrected, respect earned, Daniel fully by my side. I had taken the role of quiet power and turned it into absolute control. The family had learned the hard way. Never underestimate someone based on appearances. But even then, the story wasn't over. One final move would cement my victory forever. The week after the confrontation, Daniel and I planned a small gathering, not just family, but a mix of social and business connections. This wasn't about showmanship. It was about final proof. I arrived first, dressed elegantly but subtly. Not flashy, not overdone, but every detail radiated confidence and control. The Daniel family arrived next. Every eye tracked me. Every step I took radiated authority. Dinner began quietly. Daniel's mother tried once more, politely. "This arrangement, we never expected you to manage it so flawlessly." I smiled faintly. "Neither did I replied. "But it was necessary. To show you, assumptions based on appearances are dangerous." Heads turned. Guests whispered. Even their closest friends now respected my calm authority. Then Daniel spoke. "I've learned something important," he said, turning to the family. "Respect is earned, and humility is priceless. I stand beside someone who taught me that lesson." The mother's eyes widened. The sister finally looked at me, no smirk, just acknowledgement. The father nodded silently. I calmly revealed one final touch. Publicly posted documents showcasing the family's own mistakes. Corrected their social missteps with charm. Every rumor I had anticipated, neutralized flawlessly. By the end, the room was silent. No whispers, no mockery. Only acknowledgement. Daniel took my hand. "We make a great team," he whispered. "Yes," I replied. "And from now on, no one underestimates us." Later, I stood by the balcony, watching the city lights. The messages from the family stopped. No threats, no manipulation, only respect. And that, I realized, was far stronger than fear.